did you do to my sign?
I wrote the same, but in different words.
Thanks, love.
Pause to see the world around you. Make the difference in your life. Stopping to see the beauty, hidden talents, and surprises that surround us in our daily lives. I remember when I first saw the video that I just showed you, and the first thing that came to mind was, it's a beautiful day and I can see it. Then I saw it for the second time, and the thing that came to mind was, it's a beautiful day, but do I see it? There are so many forms of beauty that surround us in our lives, but really, when was the last time we stopped to pause and appreciate the world around us? I'm sure you guys have heard the phrase, stop to smell the flowers, and if you know me, you've probably heard that more than you want to. But whenever I think of that, I immediately think of, well, literally stopping to smell the flowers. Things like music, visual arts, and just more physical, tangible forms of beauty. But really, it's much more than that. There are so many other forms of beauty that you really only perceive once you stop and hit the pause button on your life. Back when I was in 6th grade, I would volunteer with younger kids in about 2nd grade who weren't completely proficient in reading and writing in English, mainly because they spoke a foreign language at home. In the beginning, it was sort of hard to get to know the kids at first, but after a while, I soon really began to establish a bond or connection with them. It might have been that they were great kids to be around, but I know for certain it wasn't just that. If you were to take a snapshot of each of the tutoring sessions, you would truly realize the beauty behind it all. Each kid had their own talents and gifts, if you will, and it was just great to get to know these kids as more than just the kids who I tutor, but as unique individuals with their own gifts and talents. So, individuals' gifts and talents, another form of beauty that we need to take the time to notice. Now, at this point, I want youth in the audience to go back to the time that you were at the store and there's something that you really, really wanted. And I know that's happened to me before. Okay, got it? Now, but then you come home and you see pictures of people starving and suffering because of either disease or malnutrition in Africa, and all of a sudden everything has a whole new perspective. Suddenly that thing that you really, really wanted isn't that important anymore. Instead you feel thankful, lucky. What about that one time when you're having a really bad day at soccer or swimming and you're complaining, thinking, I hate my life? But then you see someone who never even had the chance to have a sore ankle or play soccer or swim because they lost a leg. But they still have a smile on their face and is trying to make the most of their life. All of a sudden, that one thing you were complaining about isn't that important anymore. You feel thankful, lucky. Thankful, lucky. That, believe it or not, is another form of beauty within itself. The ability to look at our lives and see how privileged we are to have things that other people may not have, like food, water, and shelter, is also another form of beauty. So the ability to appreciate things that we take for granted. Now, there's one other form of beauty that I'm going to address that surrounds us daily and yet at the same time seems to be the one thing that goes by most unnoticed, and that's the people around us. Previously, I talked about how each individual has their own unique talents and gifts, if only you choose to look for them. But now I'm talking about the beauty of friendship. Now, some of you might go, what are you talking about? You bet that I've taken a good look at some of the people around me. And I get what you mean, but it's much more than that. Simply acknowledging your friends and family isn't just what I mean. You know how sometimes in the killer traffic there'll be that one person with a simple nod of their head lets you go in front of them? That person is someone who cares, whether you know it or not. What about that one person who gives you a simple smile? Do you know that a smile can make someone's day a lot better? So friendship, friendliness, and care are all beautiful things, but sometimes go without a word spoken. Another form of beauty. Some of you might be sitting here looking at me thinking, this is so cliche, and you probably have heard these phrases numerous times, but I'm not here to spread that message to you. I'm here to tell you that you can't embrace these types of privileges and see this type of beauty unless you take the time to hit the pause button once in your life and look at the world around you. One of my all-time favorite quotes is by Jawaharlal Nehru and goes, "We live in a wonderful world that is full of beauty, charm, and adventures. There is no end to the adventures that we can have if only we seek them with our eyes open." So whatever form of beauty it really may be, friendship, friendliness, individual talents, music, those things we take for granted, those small things that slip by unnoticed. I just want you to stop and ask yourself once in a while, what makes my crazy but wonderful life beautiful? Stop, pause, and make the difference in your life. Tell yourself it's a beautiful day and I can see it. Thank you.